Homemade pasta is the best thing in the world, and it's actually not that hard to make. I like adding fresh herbs to my pasta dough because it makes it green and speckly and really pretty. So I'm adding some parsley here. So I'm gonna chop up about a cup of this. And I want this parsley to be very fine. It's gonna be like confetti sprinkled throughout my dough. Okay, now I'm gonna sift 2 cups of all-purpose flour directly onto my board. And I'm sifting this to get any clumps out of the flour so that I can have an extra smooth dough. This is a necessary step. Okay, next I'm gonna grab 2 cups of semolina flour. Semolina flour is a coarse flour that's really important when you're making pasta. It helps the noodles hold their shape. I'm gonna make a well in my mountain of flour. All right, 4 whole eggs are going to go into my well. Eggs give it a nice rich yellow color. And I'm also gonna add 2 egg yolks for added richness. 4 tablespoons of olive oil, and this is gonna add a nice suppleness to the dough and also this great olive oil flavor. A teaspoon of kosher salt and a bunch of black pepper. I'm gonna scramble these eggs a little bit, being careful not to overflow the well. Now I'm ready to add my parsley. I'm gonna gradually incorporate my flour so it doesn't get too clumpy. If you don't end up incorporating all the flour, that's okay, as long as your dough comes together like this. It's time for it to rest now. I'm gonna divide it in half. I'm gonna let this sit for 30 minutes and then I'm gonna turn it into pasta. Okay, I'm gonna dust my board with a little bit of all-purpose flour so that it doesn't stick. And for this step, you really don't need a machine. You can roll it out by hand. It'll take some time and it'll take some arm muscle, but it's all worth it. So I'm aiming for about a 1/16 of an inch or thinner. And now I'm ready to cut my noodles. So to do that, I'm gonna dust the top with some semolina flour so that the noodles don't stick together. So pretty. And now I'm gonna fold it in half again to make it easier to cut. So I'm forming these into little nests just to make sure that they don't stick together, and these nests will make it easier for me to cook this in batches. I have some heavily salted water that's boiling in my pot, and I'll drop this in. I'm just going for about 3 minutes until the pasta is tender but has a little bit of a bite still. Okay, I've gotta try a noodle. There is nothing better than fresh pasta. I'm not making a heavy sauce, I'm just adding some beautiful bright flavors to this. I've got a bunch of olive oil heating in a pot with some garlic. So in other words, it smells amazing in here. And next I'm gonna add some pine nuts. While these fry, I'm gonna chop up some preserved lemons. Preserved lemons are one of my favorite ingredients. They're lemons that have been preserved with salt, so it is important to rinse them. They have a really nice briny, pickly flavor, and I love them for their depth of flavor. They're an essential part of Moroccan cooking, but if you don't have time to make them or you can't find them at the store, just add some lemon zest to your sauce. The pine nuts are starting to get some color, and I'm smelling their butteriness, and that matched with the lemon is amazing. I'm also gonna chop up some fresh mint, and I'm gonna add half of it to the pot, and I'm gonna reserve the other half for later. I'll just dump it right into the pot. Now I've reserved some of the pasta cooking water, which has valuable starch in there, and that's gonna help the sauce come together and get silky. Okay, I'm also gonna add a little bit of crushed red pepper, just a little bit of heat, not too overpowering, and lots of black pepper. And now this needs feta. Feta is gonna maintain the brightness that we've set up with the preserved lemon and the mint. I love feta. Okay, and to serve, I'm gonna sprinkle it with the last of my fresh mint. This is so beautiful.